up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. We've all been trying to figure out what Shannon Burke's end goal is. She's talked to her father, she's talked to her ex, she's going around the job, she's actually out here in the streets talking to Jukebox, anyone she can to find information on Detective Malcolm Howard. Now, she has been gathering up some information. Slowly but surely, it seems like she's piecing things together. And of course, in episode 6, we see that she got some vital information on Detective Malcolm. Now, before we jump into this and break this down, if you like power content, exclusive clips, live after show discussions, breakdowns, predictions, and theories, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload, and make sure you hit that like button. Follow me on Instagram, MOEDOTJ. Now, Detective Burke, she's the hardest worker on the show. She hasn't done anything else, but she's hot on Detective Malcolm's case, so let's figure out what's next for Shannon Burke.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you, if you want it.
In episode 6, we actually seen Detective Shannon Burke go down to the precinct and she pulled Malcolm Howard's files. Now, the guy that's working there, he's in charge of all of the documents, and he actually issues it out to her. She doesn't know too much of what's going on, but when she's going through the files, we see Detective Malcolm's start date and how long he actually been on the force. But when you dig a little bit deeper, we seem to find out some more information. Malcolm had various jobs before he joined the NYPD, from a cleaner to a security guard and then joining the force. Detective Burke is trying to figure out, okay, what has he been doing? Why is he covering up this? And who is this kid, Kanan Stark? She's had the file since she took him out of the hospital. So when she's going through this, she starts to ask, how come there's a discrepancy in his work days between the years of 74 and 76? Now, what the cop tells her is that there just means that he was either suspended for a shooting, or this indicates that he's been working undercover, and this would take him off the file. So if anyone's trying to look him up during those years, his police records won't be discovered. So when Detective Burke hears this, she's starting to think, wait a minute, he's never told me that he was undercover, but things are starting to line up for her. She's laying it all out, and she's already got documents from back at home, especially when Kanan was born. Now, if we're capable of doing the simple math, we know Kanan was born in 75. Detective Malcolm was undercover from 74 to 76. So if we're seeing it line up like this, we know Detective Burke is doing the same exact thing. And not only that, she's close to the family. She's been working with Jukebox. You remember, she told Jukebox, you owe me one, after she gave Jukebox the address to her mother Kenya's house. This is where things are going to start to get interesting, because not only does she have the information that Malcolm may have been up undercover for 2 years, she also has one of his old partners, Adina, well, someone that worked with her, that's going to give her other information about Detective Malcolm. The thing about Shannon Burke is she's working too hard. Everything she does is primarily focused on Detective Malcolm Howard and his shooting, but she also wants to know a little bit deeper because Malcolm hasn't opened up to her. Every time these two been together, we've seen that he's always pushed her to the side and he's always said, let me do this, you just ride along, because her father was in the police force, her brother was in the police force, and now she thinks she has to do it. And what Howard is trying to say is, you need to work specifically on the crimes. Don't worry about what other people have got going on. And this also is the same thing Adina has said, and Adina told her, don't dig too deep into it. Detective Malcolm, that is your partner. You need to be investigating the crime and not your own partner. Even Adina feels just like us. She's looking at Shannon and saying, you're doing too much outside the realm of your actual work. You need to be focused. But the thing is, the shooting took place. Unique was set up for it. Malcolm allegedly doesn't remember anything that happened, but all of a sudden he has a teenage son that popped up, and we just found out that he was working undercover. Now, since he was working undercover, we need to know, what was he doing in those 2 years to potentially have a son? That's how she's trying to connect the dots, and it's a little bit blurry right now, but if she gets any information or a little bit of help, I think things will work out in her favor. And the reason I think that is because of this gentleman here. If he wasn't there, she wouldn't have known that 2 years not being documented meant undercover or suspension. She's going to start diving a little bit deeper. I told you, Kanan 75, 74 to 76, It's all starting to line up. We connected the dots. I'm sure Burke can. And this man right here, he looks like he doesn't want to get that information, but it also seems like, well, whatever you need, you can come back and ask me. Because as of right now, Shannon Burke, she seems like a good detective. She hasn't been in any trouble besides the Nicole incident where her mom came in. But other than that, Shannon Burke, she's on the job, and it's unfortunate, but she might be able to piece things together. And one of the driving forces is, no matter where she goes, she runs into Malcolm Howard. And what did she see? She seen Malcolm outside with Kanan and Puerto Rican Famous. So now she's thinking, wait, why is he around this kid so much? He's been shot. And Andrea told me that he has a son. But I don't know too much about Kanan Stark, besides that we seen him at the beginning of season 1. And now he's always around him. He's always talking to Kanan. So Shannon, she's about to be on it, and it's going to get ugly for Burke if she doesn't put the things together correctly and at least get some help. Because Malcolm Howard, I think he would do anything in his power to protect his son Kanan. I think he would even help out Rock if he had to. I've already done a video that I broke down of Sam the junkie, because we seen him get arrested right here, and Detective Burke, she's seen him come in and she's also interacted with him. What does Sam know? He knows who shot Detective Malcolm Howard. He was there. He couldn't really make it out. He was high. But now she can question him. Now she has the information of Malcolm Howard being undercover. She has the files on Kanan Stark. It's laid out right in front of her. All she has to do is connect the dots, and man, it's about to be wild. Because if Malcolm, like I said, if he finds out that she's on his trail like this, he'll do anything to protect Kanan. He might still have love for Rock and protect her. We gonna find out though. All right, let me know what you think about Detective Burke. Is she gonna be able to piece this thing together faster than we're expecting? Because this is episode 7 that's coming up. So let me know what you think about Burke. Is all this information she have correct? And will it lead to her finding out that Kanan Stark is actually Malcolm Howard's son, and Raquel was messing with Malcolm? Let me know what you think. I'm Mo.J. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.